Hey, people of the internet, it's Gabriel and welcome to Word. Oftentimes, people will ask me this question, and I feel like today is the right moment to answer it. They will go like, hey, Gabriel, now that you are studying in French, would you be able to practice anywhere apart from countries that speak French? Well, before I answer this question, please do it to subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Leave a like as well as a comment because it will go a very long way to help this channel grow. And those who have been following my works, I really appreciate whatever you do and then keep on doing it. Now, moving straight into it, I feel like medicine is almost the same thing in every part of the world. Look, what's actually frequent in the tropic belt is different from what is happening in the northern part. Let's say, for instance, in Africa. Now, when you go to the tropical zone of Africa, you are expected to see malaria all over the place, unlike in the northern part of Africa. So basically, it's quite different. But hey, the anatomy is the same as the anatomy down there, as well as the physiopathology. So medicine is actually almost the same thing. But then, yes, before you practice, there are certain criteria that you need to respect, being it the fact that you studied in another country and you're practicing in a different country. The fact is that as a medical doctor, there are some three things you always have to have in your bag. One of them is knowledge. Yeah, whatever you learned in class, it's very necessary. The technical know-how, know what you are doing. How do you do it? That's the important thing. And then who you are. Certain behaviors are needed. Certain characteristics are needed from you. One of them is language, how to communicate. And obviously, language is important when it comes to communication. So as long as you can speak the language of the citizen, you are good to go. But that is not the only thing you need, because the world we live in, we need knowledge. We need to be sure that you know how to do it. And that's when examinations come in. So briefly, I'm just going to generalize whatever it is that you need to be able to practice in another country other than a French-speaking country. Good. So one of them, and important of them all, is the fact that you have to be able to speak the language. That means even if there is an exam to write, if you are not able to speak the language of the citizen, there's no need taking the exams, because at the end of the day, you are working with people. So let's say you are planning on going to the Europe, that means you definitely have to learn English. If you are planning to go to the US, English as well, Germany, German language, China, Chinese, wherever. You have to learn the language of the people. That is why before you even think of practicing in another country, you have to take their English proficiency exams, being it IELTS, OET, TOEFL, I don't know, you know them. Now, these things are important when it comes to practicing in another country after studying in a different country. Now, there comes the exams, because they would have to test you that you know what you are doing. You have the knowledge, you have the technical know-how. And so in the US, you have to pass the licensure exams. So we have the USMLE, which I don't want to talk into details, like it's not really necessary at the moment. I will take each topic one after the other and tell you guys all about it. So we have the USMLE, the step 1, the step 2 CK, and finally the USMLE step 3. All these things are just to test you if you actually have any idea about, because whatever they study in the US might not be the same thing you studied outside the US. So they expect you to also learn the same kind of things and have the same level as those in the US, so as to you guys can practice together, get into the residency program together, which I'll get into it right after talking about the UK. Now, going to the UK, you also need a language proficiency, because definitely they speak English over there. So you should be able to actually know certain words if you are from a French-speaking country or if you studied in French language. So definitely you have to take the English proficiency exams, and then that being IELTS, you know them, mention them. And then moving on quickly, you have to take their exams, the licensure exams, PLAB 1 and PLAB 2, and they all come in different forms. How the questions are structured will be also described in another video in some other time. And so you have to take these exams, and then eventually you move to the next step of your career. The same for Germany, and then even my country, Ghana, that's what is happening. Before I go back to practice, I need to pass the exams that has been said. But just that I'll not have to pass the language proficiency because obviously I speak, the language that they speak in Ghana. So it's quite easy for that part. All I have to do is write the licensure exams. Now, depending on the country you are going, you are either going to enter into residency or you are going to enter into, or you have to look for a job and start practicing. That's how it is. So taking UK, for example, in the UK, when you are done with your licensure exams, you get registered. That means you are recognized as, a licensed doctor. A registered doctor. It is from there that you have to go and look for a job. That means you go to the hospitals, wherever that job is available, you just push yourself over there and then you apply for it. And if they feel like you are okay to do the job, they give you the job and then you start working. Unlike the US, where you join the residency program, because we don't have general doctors over there, because general doctors are actually considered as family doctors, and so it's a specialty. You enter into the residency program and you start with the residency. Well, you'll be practicing as a doctor as well as studying. So it's quite the same thing as in the UK. But just at UK, you'd have to go through the fact that you become a doctor, work for some number of years before you consider entering into the residency program. And it's a very long journey, unlike in the US. And in Germany, it's quite like the US, but just that they speak German. And so there's the exams you are supposed to take. In the Canada too as well. Now, someone may ask, okay, looking at the fact that I studied in French, why wouldn't I go to France and work? Definitely, you have to take the licensure exam, just like in Ghana. Well, I speak English, obviously. That's the English that Ghanaians speak. And so it would be quite easier for me to work over there. But then I would need the licensure exam. Same as going to France, same as going to Belgium. You need to write the licensure exams to prove that you know what you are doing before you can actually start working. But one important thing I really want to talk to you guys about today is about the USMLE. Now, what is happening is that you can't just go to any medical school and be thinking that you can be able to write the USMLE. Look, in 2024, if you don't write your USMLE now and your school happen not to be part of the registered school, then I'm very sorry that even if you write the exams, you might not be considered because your school is not actually registered when it comes to the accreditation board. That is why it's very necessary to confirm this before thinking about writing the exams. If not, you waste money because a lot of money goes into writing that kind of exam. So just to summarize whatever I said, which people would not even love to listen, which I have to do either ways, is that in practicing medicine, there are three things that you have to consider: the knowledge, the technical know-how, and then how to communicate. Your behavior, it's really important. And so the technical know-how and your knowledge is based on the licensure exams of individual countries. And then the technical, not the technical know-how, your behavior, which is the communication, which involves language, is also considered. And so these are the two main things you have to consider. Now, in separate videos, I'll be talking mainly about how to go about specific countries, let's say in Germany, maybe in South Africa, in Canada, in US. So if you want me to do it, just let me know in the comment section, because how you guys interact in the comment section will push me to do it. And so this has been it, and I hope I presented generally what is actually needed of you to be able to practice in a different country, even if you didn't study in that particular country. This has been it. See you guys in the next one.